So we've had some great results recently, especially against some big teams. But Brighton Crystal Palace is a big one, especially for the fans. How do you approach the game and set up knowing they have a dangerous player like Wilfred Zaha?
Good question. Yeah, I think you're right. We have had some good results recently, and but the beauty of the Premier League is there's always another challenge round the corner, and it's Crystal Palace, and we know how important the game is for the supporters, but it's also important for us because it's our next game, and we want to get the 3 points because they're so valuable for our season. I think every team in the Premier League has players that that if you give them too much space and too much room, that they can hurt you. Last week, Jack Grealish, for example. Liverpool have got players, Tottenham, Son and Kane. If you make mistakes there, they're in a position to punish you. I think that's the challenge of the Premier League, and what we have to do is make sure that when we're attacking well, we're in good position to make sure that if we make a mistake or the ball turns over, that we can defend quickly against their attacking threats, and then if they beat that situation, then you need to make sure that as a team you can be back in your defensive shape as quickly as possible, and then you're looking at things like stopping the ball to source. You're stopping, rather than worrying so much about the one player, make sure that the ball isn't going to him so much. So how your defensive organisation is to restrict the amount of ball that the whatever attacking player you deem is dangerous, you try and reduce that. But the danger is you overemphasise one thing, and Premier League players, on the other side of the pitch, have got enough ability to hurt you there. So you have to make sure that you defend well as a team and cover all bases, really.
It's been great to see new faces brought into the squad this season. Veltman in defence, Lallana and Caicedo in midfield. But it was also great to see young talent coming through, such as Sanchez, Alzate, Moda and many more. Looking forward, where do you see the gaps in the squad to ensure we get the balance between youth and experience?
Well, at the moment, I think the balance is good. We've got, obviously, like you say, Rob as a young goalkeeper with huge potential. Balanced with Jason Steele, who's got a lot of experience, and then Christian, who's also a young goalkeeper. Across the back line, Lewis Dunk has got a lot of experience, firstly playing for Brighton and what it means to play for Brighton Hove Albion. And then he's helping the likes of Ben White, the likes of Adam Webster, who are at the start of their careers. I think, and then Joel Veltman, who brings a long career at Ajax and Champions League experience. So across the team, I think there's a good mix. Adam, Lallana, you mentioned, Danny Welbeck, Pascal Gross. They're good characters, good experience, and I think the balance is good. The group's in a really good place. It's the best group I've had since I've been here, on and off the pitch. But it's like anything in every transfer window. You're always looking to see how you can improve. You always have to be mindful that if things go really well, you may have to. Players may be sold. Who knows how the market is? So there's lots of things you have to consider and always try to develop the team. But at the moment, I'm happy with the mix.
So Joe Veltman has been playing very well recently, notably his performance pocketing Jack Grealish. But Tariq Lamptey hopefully will come back into the squad soon after suffering a hamstring injury. How do you look to integrate them both into the squad when Lamptey returns to full fitness?
Well, yeah, again, I agree. I think Joel has done really well for us. He's played in a variety of positions and he's got that ability to be able to play anywhere in the back three, I would say. Anywhere he can play wing back or right back or even in midfield at a push. So he's just got that intelligence and understands the game really well. And then Tariq has come back from it. Well, he's just on his way back from quite a lengthy period away, and that's been disappointing for us. But credit to the players, they've sort of adapted to his loss. He should be back in the next few weeks, and they're completely different players in some ways, different attributes. So it's not like it's a like for like replacement. Both of them can play in the same team. But obviously we have to be patient with Tariq because he's coming back from quite a lengthy layoff. But Joel could play right of a 3, for example, and Tariq could play right wing back. Joel could play right back. Tariq could play higher. I mean, Tariq has played at right wing and at right back for Chelsea. He's done that role for us as well. So it's about utilising the attributes of the individuals. Clearly, Tariq is in terms of affecting the game in the final third with his pace. That's his major asset. Say Joel is slightly different to that. So it's making sure that whoever plays or wherever they play, that you're making the most out of their qualities.
Okay. And so obviously Brighton Palace, there's quite a big rivalry between the two clubs. But with the pandemic and the lack of fans, how do you think the occasion could be affected in the game by there being no fans in the stadium?
I think it affects it massively because it's always about the supporters. And the supporters bring the occasion. The supporters bring the atmosphere. The supporters bring everything. So it is completely different, I would say, and it's just one of those things that we've had to deal with, and we know why we're dealing with it. But from our perspective, we're still fighting for the 3 points. We're still fighting to win, as are Crystal Palace, and that won't change. But I think we'd all like to see 30,000 people in the stadium, and the noise and the excitement and everything that brings. It adds another dimension to football that is so important, and the quicker we get back to that, the better, I think.
Hello, Graham. Since the 2nd of January, the Albion has only lost twice in 11 games. How much of this recent success has been down to your understanding and your implementation of emotional intelligence?
I think it might have played a small part because, of course, I have a role as the leader of the group, and so I have a responsibility to make sure that the environment is good, that the players are taking responsibility for their actions, for how they perform. They understand that everybody else is a little bit stressed and a little bit has their own motivations. So how they deal with that is important. But I would say it's only a small part because the players are on the pitch and they're the ones that play. They're the ones that do the work. They're the ones that earn the victories, that have the courage to play, that do the work as a team together. So I see that link with emotional intelligence is more an ongoing process of 18 months. And sometimes you get good results and sometimes you don't. And at the moment we're getting good results. But it's mostly down to the players. I would say 95% is down to the players. It's a players' game. And thankfully they've been really, really good.
Thank you. We have a massive game against our rivals, Crystal Palace. How, in particular, will the players prepare mentally and emotionally to ensure they perform at their highest level?
Well, I think it's about consistency. I think in high performance sport, you've got to be consistent with how you act. So whilst we know the importance in terms of the supporters, whilst we know that the 3 points would be a massive thing for us, we still have to play the game. We still have to make decisions on the pitch. We still have to be clear in our thinking. At the same time, be in the right emotional state to perform at our best. If you don't care so much, that's not good. And if you're really, really over the top in terms of hyped up, then that's not so good either. You've got to get in the right state to perform. And that's really the challenge in every game, because in the Premier League, this is the highest league in the world, one of certainly the toughest league in the world. It matters a lot to us to be in this league. We have to fight every match to be in this league. So that's the challenge for us every game, is to make sure we're at the right state to play, prepare so we have an understanding of what may happen in the game, and then have the courage to make the right decisions and react to whatever's happening on the pitch. And that's a daily, weekly challenge for us. But we've got a good group. I think a very self-aware group, a group that takes responsibility, and a motivated group. So that's good for us. We need to carry on with that work.
So
hello.
What so far has been your proudest achievement as the Brighton manager?
Good question. Well, the way my brain works is I'm not sure I've achieved so much yet, but at the same time we've done a lot of work. At the start of every project or at the start of anything in life, I think that you have to do a lot of work that you don't necessarily see the flowers, if that makes sense. So my dad was a keen gardener, and he had an allotment, and a lot of the time he would start off by doing a lot of digging and a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work that was not so pleasant, and it wasn't a long way down that he started to grow some things, and you can see the fruit of what he's doing. I would say we've been a little bit in that process in terms of changing the playing style, introducing a few more younger players into the group, and ultimately at the same time trying to get points in the hardest league in the world. And the first year we managed to get 41, which was the most this club's ever had in this league, which was an increase of about 14% from the last year, which is quite good when you consider that, like I said, we've had a lot of changes in terms of playing style and younger guys from the academy. And we're sort of carrying on that process now. I think the group that where we are at the moment is the best that we've had, and on and off the pitch is a really good spirit, so I'm proud of that. I think that's a nice achievement to maintain that atmosphere and progress your game, even despite the fact that maybe at times results don't go as well as you'd like them to go. So I think when I look back, I'm actually happy with what we've done, but still with a lot of work to do.
Okay, thank you. So how has the team managed to improve results in 2021?
Well, I think by sticking to our ideas, by being together as a team, by being together as a group. Like I said, the coaching process often is not a straightforward one. You have to fail sometimes, you have to make mistakes, you have to lose, because then you can learn, and then you can grow, and you can get stronger. And in the first part of the year, the first part of the season, we actually had a lot of good games where we didn't get the results that maybe our performances deserved. And we live in quite a simplistic world where ultimately the result is all that matters, and very often the performance gets overlooked. And when you're a coach, you have to accept that and deal with that. But at the same time, if you keep working and you keep true to what you believe in, then with a bit of luck, because luck's also important in football, the results can turn around. I don't think we've done anything significantly different, but I think just a few results now and again give you some more belief, and then the team is able to remain stable and grow. So it's all credit to the players, because they've stuck at it, stuck together, always tried to improve, and recently we've got some reward for that.